Okay, hey, so I'm going to show you how to use Figma today to make an SVG. This is only my second time, but one of the reasons why I felt confident enough to walk you through it is because the first time I did it, it seemed pretty simple. So in terms of artistic ability, I have not taken an art class since maybe fifth grade. Um, so that's where I am. So colors and shading and great lines are not all of my strong suits, but I wanted to show you how to do it. So today we're going to be working with an image. My sister-in-law owns a restaurant in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania called Supper, and they just bought a new place, so they're moving locations and they have a new storefront. And so I thought it would be fun to use the image of their storefront to create a little SVG for them. So I'm in Figma, I am signed up for free, and I have this image on my desktop. You can also upload images through their hamburger menu, but I'm just going to drag and drop it here. Okay, so one of the things I like about this image is that there's a lot of really straight lines. So for my portfolio site, let me just pull it up real quick. I had some clouds, which are rounded edges, which are a little bit more different. So these are not perfect, you can see if you look closely. But anyway, so those are a little bit more difficult. I like the straight edges. They were easy and fun to work with. So here we go. We've got this image. And the nice thing about SVGs is they scale really nicely. So when I was making the first part of my portfolio, this was CSS art, and I was doing tons and tons of media queries to get this to be responsive. And then somebody offered to show me how to make an SVG, and it was a game changer. Okay, so this is the image we have. And so what I want to do is start with this pen tool. And we're gonna, so you click that, and then you're just basically outlining or tracing the image that you want to use. So like I said, I'm not great at colors and shading. I know they want this awning to not be red. It will be black. So this is what I'm going to attempt to do. This will be a lighter color, this will be a grayer color, and that will be like really dark black. So we've got that there. And so now what we want to do is add a fill to that. And so right now I think that's the default. One of the things, I kept hitting stroke last time I was trying to do this. I'm like, why isn't it working? But so you want to do fill. And so since I said we're going to do like a darker color, it's not quite black. And again, like my artistic understanding of colors is not great. So this is what we're going to go with. And I think that looks good there. And we're going to outline the next part. And I'm not going to be precise, but there is a grid tool that you can use for this, which would be really helpful. I haven't used that yet, maybe in a different video. But also the nice thing is you can just zoom in to kind of see how your edges are. So I think it's less of a big deal for the image that we have here. But I know when I was doing this, really getting those edges right was important to me. So I did a lot of zooming in, and that was helpful. Okay, so we got that, and now we're going to fill that with, like I said, a lighter gray, but not that light. Let's see. Oh, that looks good. Goodish to me. Now we'll go back to our pen tool, and we'll do the side awning. Might have been a little too high. Let's go back there. Okay, and then like I said, this one is going to be black. Yeah, looks good. I guess we can make these a little bit darker. And the nice thing is it's not hard to change. Okay, that looks better. It looks like I have a gap there, but we'll get to that. Make this a little bit darker. Okay, so now we have the awning there. I don't know if I'm going to tackle those lights in this or not. We'll see. See how long the rest of this takes. Okay, so I'm going to go back here and grab my little tool so I can do this underneath part of the awning. Let's do that. Darker color. Well, and see, look, you can see, whoops, let's not do that. That I kind of messed up the edges there. So depending on what you want, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. I could kind of move that up. I want to definitely make sure that it's behind, so whoops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to send backward, I think. Let's bring this front. All right, we'll see once we get rid of the rest of this stuff. So kind of the nice thing about working with different colors here is that you can tell when there's red in the background, and that means there's a gap there. Okay, this is definitely not as long as it needs to be. Here we go. That looks better. Okay, so it's still not perfect. There we go. Did you see when I held that there? There's a little X here to show that it was equal and level. Okay, so we have that first part, and now the next part I want to do is the gray storefront. So we're going to go through and outline that, and we're going to skip around the windows and see how this turns out. So we want to get right up in that section there. Like I said, I'm just kind of trying to take you through this quickly so we can get an idea of just how to use the tool. We will not be copying the Miller Lite sign. Okay. I'm going to go around this window. This will also be framing out that window. There we go. Okay, so we have connected all the edges. We're going to fill this. Not really sure what color I want to fill this with. I'm going to go maybe white, maybe gray, definitely not pink. Let's just brighten it up and make it a little white. Now I can see already that my edge up here needs brought up. I think that's a little too much. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to go through and work on these, on the framing of the doors and the windows. All right, so I know there's probably like depth and dimension that I'm missing that you could do a really awesome job at. I'll get there one day. That's somebody else's tutorial. Okay, let's see here. We're just gonna go down, and then we're gonna not gonna fill that yet. I'm gonna try and do the inside of the door first, just because I think it'll be easier. Okay, let's fill that with a dark gray. Oh, that looks good. Good enough. Okay, and then let's select the this other one we did. Nope, where'd it go? No. There we go. Here, right here. And we want to fill this with a red. Okay. I think it looks good. So here they've got this stuff kind of blocked off, so I'm going to do my best to imagine what it would be looking like. Alright, I think I connected all the dots there, but then also what I probably should have done is the same thing I did last time and worked on the inside door. I'm still going to do that first. So I'm just going to click out of that, use my pen tool. And that fill a darker gray. Again, we'll just copy this gray that we have here. And my guess is it should look a little bit more like that. All right, now let's do this door. Let's try and select. Here we go. I'm going to fill that. And we're going to use the same color red. All right, not too bad, not too bad. Okay, and so then we have this last part here. We're going to outline. Do that fill. Again, we're going to use the same color red. And then let's do the window. That's not what I wanted. I think maybe the issue there was I didn't unselect what we had already done. So I'm going to select the pen again, go through, retrace, and then we should be able to select the fill color without. And then about the pen, the current fill color. This. So I'm thinking what I should have done here is made another edge. Okay, so by bringing to front, that kind of cut that off, and I'm fine with that. Let's do this, and then, no, this one. Okay, so here's what we had. This is what we came up with. So now you can definitely see where I went wrong with all of my tracing. Whoa, that's not what I want to do. Okay, so it looks like, let's try that. And this over, just this over. I think I made it worse than it was before. Okay, let's see here. And so you can see, like, when you select it, you can move what you traced over It's pretty user-friendly. Okay, that looks better. Let's make this a little bit wider, I think. Okay, so not too bad. Okay, so this is what my SVG storefront looks like. I realize that not all the lines and angles are where they should be, but hopefully you have a better idea of how to use the tool and what to do with it. And what I usually do is just delete that image and then I export it. And so you click the export plus button, SVG, and then, whoops, we should probably title it. So I'm going to title it Supper PGH for Supper Pittsburgh. Export Supper Pittsburgh. And then, whoops. Ooh, okay, now you really can see where I messed up. That's not what I meant to do. Let's see. Always open files of this type. That's so not what I meant to do. Okay, so I already had my VS Code open. It gives me all of my SVG code here. Okay, so this is all the code. And so then what I usually do is I delete the width and the height, and then I just insert the element into my HTML as an SVG, and I use CSS to set the width, usually to 100% to make it responsive. So if you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully this was somewhat helpful, and thanks for watching.